Swear I couldn't sleep awake last night. No point in turning off the lights. Not the same without your head on my shoulders. Growing pains, but I don't wanna get older. Almost like we left it all already. Couple feelings never laid to rest. Didn't know that the party was over. And it's true that I need you here closer. Burning photos. How to learn to let go. I used to. Somebody in another skin. I've heard that you're happy without me, and I hope it's true. It kills me a little, that's okay, 'cause I die for you. You know I'd still die for you. I hope you're getting everything you needed. Found the puzzle piece and feel completed. Just wanted you to know every reason. Hope you really know that I mean that. Couldn't see the forest from the trees. Only time we speak is in my dreams. Burning photos. How to learn to let go. I used to. Somebody in another skin. I've heard that you're happy without me, and I hope it's true. It kills me a little, that's okay, 'cause I die for you. You know I'd still die for you.
Well, imagine seeing your husband, brother, or father brutally killed by religious fanatics.
They proceeded to slaughter 41 people, including 37 children.
The government took her to the detention center and tortured her, and she was bleeding.
A Hindu mob paraded naked two Christian women.
A dark hall, I'll grab my light and go with
Even
you.
though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil,
I'll go with you.
for you are with me.
I'll go with you.
Your rod and
I'll
your
go
staff,
with you.
they comfort me.
Go with you.
While the horrible video led to worldwide outrage, some families are happy that the martyrs kept their faith.
Surrounded and up
You
against the
will be
wall.
hated by everyone
I'll shred
because of
them
me,
all and go with you.
but the one who stands
When
firm to the
choices
end
end,
will be
you must
safe.
defend.
If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first.
I'll go with
Never will I leave you.
I'll
Never
go
will
with
I
you.
forsake you.
I'll go with you.
Stand firm, and you will win life.
Authorities arrested and marched 20 Japanese Christians with 6 foreign missionaries hundreds of miles from Kyoto until they arrived here, where 26 crosses were already waiting for them. One account tells us of a Christian boy who, upon arriving, told his captors, "Show me my cross."
And you have no doubts at all.
And do not die for things they done.
Waiting, sir.
Waiting for what?
before the dust to finish praying for us, sir.
Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. If you love those who love you, what reward will you gain? Are not even the tax collectors doing that?
Before the revolution in 1914, there were about 70,000 representatives for the clergy in Russia. But by the end of 1937, only 100 remained alive and free.
The Jewish Bolshevik regime deliberately mechanized 3 series of genocidal man-made famines. Christians, priests, and the most attractive youth, and all non-Jewish intellectuals were the first to be exterminated. In years to come, Stalin's crime against humanity would make Lenin's threat to terror crumble in comparison.
If you find yourself in a lion's den,
I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? In all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. For we know that since Christ was raised from the dead, he cannot die again. Death no longer has mastery over him. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. For just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ. If we are distressed, it is for your comfort and salvation. If we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which produces in you patient endurance of the same sufferings.
As I silently rub the drops of blood on the wood, I can only find the right words when I think of that merciful and just God who is so far away, and yet so close.
In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood.
I'm trying to finish eating. Wait 5 minutes. Thank you. Hello. Sorry, I was eating. Took longer than I thought.
Oh! All right. Hello, hello, hello. Let's let people filter in for a bit before I start going on some rants. I got some rants to do today, boys. I ain't gonna lie, I'm in a fucking terrible mood. Gonna react slop we got today. It's gonna be a lot of political stuff, probably. It's gonna be a lot of dark stuff today, boys. So you ain't gonna be happy. So if you're in a bad mood and you're not feeling great today, I would avoid today's stream. I'm gonna go off pretty hard today. Well, for like 2 hours. There's some the state that things are in right now is really just fucking insane. Like, I don't know what else to say. All right, what do we got? Some new G2 stuff. All right, I want to see what happened with this because I really saw a couple clips.
10 people are dead, 25 are injured after a mass school shooting in Tumbler Ridge, Canada. Police have identified the shooter, but will not release details at this time for, quote, privacy reasons. So since then, they have actually released details about who this person is. It's apparently some sort of trans person. Obviously, people are going off and, you know, if one trans person does something wrong, that means all trans people do something wrong. We all know this, right? So, like, yeah, one of them fucks up, they all fuck up. So this is,
sure, but this is also like the 4th mass shooting committed by a trans person. So yeah.
Basically, all of the trans people went on the school shooting. So basically, 10 people got killed. And this is in Canada, too. It's not even in America. It's in Canada. And it's just insane. The gunman has been identified as a trans biological male, Jesse Strang. And this apparently does seem to be the case. It is true. And this is, I guess, a photo of this person. Suspected shooter in the Deadler Tumbler Ridge secondary school shot. Secondary school, isn't that like 13 to like 11 to 14, yep. Right? Yeah. Like, because I don't know how it is in Canada, right? But I know that
it's older in Canada.
In secondary school here, that's like middle school, isn't it? Yeah, I think, right? Or I mean, is it high school? I have no idea. Oh, it's high school, so it's like 14 to 18. Okay. And so, yeah, wow. And so there's at least 10 dead. Holy shit. And this is the person 17 years old, went on this shooting rampage. 17-year-old transsexual Jesse Strang has been identified as the Tumbler Ridge secondary school shooter. Holy fucking shit. And there have been, I do think this is also crazy that it's a Redditor that has posted videos of being violent, and on top of that, they also have posted videos of them shooting things. So this is like basically every stereotype. And I've tried to tell people, I've tried to say over and over and over, we have to get on top of these people. These weirdos that are like advocating for violence, that are talking about shooting people on the internet, everything like that. We've got to get on top of them, man. And if you don't get on top of them, they're going to go out on these shooting rampages. But here's what I think the problem is. I think that a lot of
well, the problem is our government and our DOJ, FBI, and all these people are too busy defending pedophiles, pedophile Jewish businessmen to do their job. So That's the problem. I don't want to watch that. It's like an hour long. It's all nonsense. I don't even think he has the facts right. I'm pretty sure that's not even the real shooter.
Washed up loser. Okay, man. We're going to go back and forth on this one. This is the hearing right now. Pam Bondi getting grilled by Democrats and Republicans, but largely not really the Republicans, except Thomas Massie. And I've got some criticisms for Pam Bondi, but I'm going to start, we're going to call it a compliment sandwich. And that is Pam Bondi grilling Raskin and calling him a washed up loser. Absolutely fantastic. Good work, Pam. And
no. Are we serious? Is he being serious?
Now for the criticism. The Epstein Files release has been abysmal. I'm glad they're doing it, but they've done a fairly bad job. But hey,
yeah, let's give her props for in a congressional hearing for using personal insults. Like, I don't like Raskin at all. I think he's a fucking snake, but he asked a legitimate question. And instead of answering the question, she just goes, "You're a washed up loser." Like, why do we have these fucking women in politics, man? Remove all of them. Repeal the 19th Amendment immediately. Take all of these women out of fucking politics. Remove them from everything, unless it's a secretarial rule. Fucking remove them immediately. She is such a fucking embarrassment. Between her and Kirsty Noem, bro, they're such fucking embarrassments, man. Just remove them all. I just don't understand. Like Tim, there's no praise to give here. There's no like, good job. Like, this is like cult behavior, brother. Like, I don't like Raskin or any of the Democrats that interviewed her, but they asked legitimate questions and she didn't answer them. And she brought up nonsense that had nothing to fucking do with the Epstein files. I don't care about what the fucking Dow is at, you stupid fucking bitch. I care about why you're covering up a pedophile ring.
At least it's happening. And then, as a compliment sandwich goes, a little bit of defense. I actually think it's good that when Thomas Massie challenged the DOJ on the redaction of some names, they immediately unredacted the names. I'm going to give them credit for this one.
Well, because they have no choice. It looks terrible if they don't. You can't give them credit. You can't give them credit for hiding something until Massie pushes them to the point they have to redact it. Like, unredact it. Like, what are you saying, man? Why is everybody running defense for this? Like, it's insane to me. I'm losing my fucking mind seeing, like, all these people on Twitter that, like, I actually kind of respect in some ways. Like, they're literally participating in a psyop. They're pretend like everything that she did was, like, awesome. And, like, oh, look at her own these chuds. Like, they're asking her, hey, why did you release all the victim names in an email that had nothing to do with the files that you were sent privately? Why did you do that? Why did you literally dox every victim in the fucking Epstein list, but you didn't unredact any of the fucking the people involved? Like, why'd you cover it all up? Oh, you're gonna unredact it now? After we already went in and saw them and already exposed who these people were, and now you're going to unredact their names after we already went in and did that for you? That's crazy. Like, wow, so brave. Good job, DOJ. Like, what are we doing here, dude? This is not a fucking serious country anymore, guys. I'm dead serious. Like, if the MAGA movement ain't dead today, I don't know, bro. Like, this whole movement's dead. This coalition's dead. Who's gonna argue this with me? Like, somebody argue with me. How do you think this movement survives? It's a coalition of multiple different factions. How does this survive when you have an administration that's literally covering for pedophiles? It's covering for rich Jewish bankers and businessmen that are literally manipulating our entire admin and world politics, and we're covering up for all the pedophilia and fucking child rape and child eating and all the weird shit, satanic shit they do. Like, why are we doing this? Conservative media, they don't even know what they're conserving, bro. Like, I'm trying to conserve like Christian ethics and morality in the country and a set of like Christian values. Like, that's what I'm trying to conserve, right? I'm trying to conserve the 1950s like predominantly Christian culture, and that's what MAGA was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a cultural movement, not a political one. And then Donald Trump just sells his fucking soul to every Jewish fucking banker on the planet in order to get elected in 2024. And now it's like, now we're here. And then the real president of the United States shows up for 3 hours today He meets with all of these Jewish bankers and Jewish people in the admin first before he even talks to the president, and then he goes and briefs the president. Like, that's insane. Like, even just the precedence of that is like mentally ill. Like, how do you guys not see what the fuck is going on here? The guy comes, he doesn't even talk to the president first. He talks to the fucking guys handling the president. He talks to a bunch of random Jewish people in the fucking administration in like a secret circle meeting before he goes and talks to the Secretary of State and the President of the United States. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't trust Nick either. I think Nick's a fucking plant too, to be honest with you. That guy flip-flops all the time. He flip-flops all the time. He's right about a lot of shit, but he flip-flops constantly. But I sometimes I just don't know if that's just because he's just stressed the fuck out or what, but dude, like, what are we doing here? Why are we just like, yeah, PM Bondi, go girl? Like, I'm happy there's people that I'm seeing on X that like have brains, and like we're just like, yo, this is fucking retarded. Like, this is insane. You guys are covering up pedophilia. You're covering up human trafficking. You're like, you can't. You're so blatant with it. She starts calling people anti-Semites in the middle of the fucking hearing, who don't even say anything about Jews. They just bring up the human trafficking or bring up the files, and she's like, "Well, you must be anti-Semite." Like, are you trying to insinuate that it's all being done by Jewish people? Like, because it is, but is that what you're trying to insinuate here?
Let's start here, my friends. Washed up loser. Oh boy. Pam Bondi explodes at Democrat grilling her over Epstein. You washed up loser. You're not even a lawyer. She said loser lawyer, I guess. Is Raskin a lawyer? I don't know. The Daily Mail reports.
Wow, so brave of you. Why don't you answer the fucking questions? Why do you suck at your job? Why did you release like all the victims' names so they could get fucking attacked by all the Jewish bankers and businessmen that you're protecting? And why do you cover up, guys? Okay, like I'm being told by people because I made such a big deal about the jerky stuff and like all the Pizzagate shit. Oh, it's all not real. Okay, well, I looked up the emails myself. They exist. There's hundreds of them, if not thousands of them. Oddly specifically talking about pizza slices and getting pizza and grape soda and beef jerky, like fucking thousands of times in the emails, okay? Why is every single one of those emails blacked out? Why is every name in every single email that has to do with pizza or like pizza parties or jerky, why is every one of those fucking names redacted? Why would you have to redact the names of people talking about pizza parties and beef jerky, guys? I wonder why. Why do you have to do that? But by the way, they don't redact. They literally released child porn in the first batch, by the way. If you didn't know that, these fucking idiots released actual child pornography in the first batch because they did such a fucking incompetent job of redacting the information that was there. They're supposed to tell you why they redact stuff in notes. There's supposed to be notes by the law that they tell you why we redacted this name or why we didn't redact this. They didn't do any of that. So they disobeyed the entire fucking order in the first place. And then they didn't redact child porn, but they redacted every single email that has to do with eating babies. Like, what are we doing here? This is not a serious country. We're not a serious country, dude. Like, I don't know what to say. This is like, I don't give a fuck about anything else. People are like, oh, we gotta get ready for the midterms. I hope the Republicans get fucking decimated in the midterms. I hope they do. I really do. And then I hope the Democrats take every one of these fucking maggots into an endless spree of fucking like impeachments and just court cases and everything. Like, I hope you get what you deserve. I hope you do. There is no excuse. I don't care how high the Dow Jones is going. I don't care how many jobs you put in. I care about the fact that we are our fucking elites of our country. The faces of our country are involved in covering up a pedophile ring, a global pedophile ring, because you just don't want to talk about it because it involves Jews, because it's Israel. Because you don't want to make Israel look bad. Like, that's literally the only reason they're doing it. It's nonsensical. They're covering it up because they don't want to make Israel look bad. The redactions are retarded. Like, why would you redact emails about pizza parties and beef jerky unless you know what that is?
Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi refused to apologize to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and lashed out at the Democrats for theatrics during a congressional hearing on Wednesday. Bondi faced a grilling by the House Judiciary Committee.
You refuse to apologize for basically unredacting all the victims' names and bringing them into the limelight against their will? That's crazy. You're a good person. I'm glad you're our AG. You're really part of this movement to make America great again. I'm really proud of that.
Committee on Wednesday, after the Justice Department released millions of Epstein files, including documents which redacted the name.
I'm pretty sure this economy is doing nothing but propping up the richest in the country. Like, it's actually like Trump is basically, he's literally become the thing we all hated. He's literally become the very thing he campaigned against. He is a bought for, sold out president. He is Ludnick is his handler. Ludnick is his handler. Peter Thiel is fucking Peter Thiel is fucking JD Vance's handler. I don't know who the fuck. I know we know Marco's compromised. Like, that's obvious. We literally have the emails where Steve Bannon was told by Barack to go with, not Barack Hussein, but like Barack, the Prime Minister of Israel. He was literally being told, like, they were telling Steve Bannon to go compromise Rubio, and then he responds back that Rubio's game. So it's like, it's pretty obvious that Rubio's also bought and paid for by Israelis. And then it's like, it's the same thing with JD Vance. He's bought and owned by Peter Thiel. That's his handler. And then Ludnick is fucking Trump's handler. I always thought it was weird that guy was getting so much attention. Like, my radar went. I even say, like, if we go, I don't even think I have the streams, but if I could go find the streams, like, because I streamed some of that, like, early, that first big rally he did right before he won. I was like, who the fuck is this bald Jew? I was like trying to figure out who the fuck this guy was, and like why he was getting so much attention. Like, he was getting put on like the main stage as like, and like I've never even fucking seen him before. So it's like, oh, it makes sense now. He's like the biggest donor to the fucking Trump campaign, and he's a Jewish, pro-Israeli fucking Jew, and he's basically everywhere Trump goes, there's Ludnick. Like, you can't escape the guy. Everywhere Trump goes, Ludnick's sitting there in the background behind him. Like, it's very clear he's his handler. It's fucking crazy.
Names of people's of the pedo's associates, and unredacted names of victims. The AG furiously
the gas prices are lower. Like, they are definitely way lower. But that's also because we just stole all the gas and oil from fucking Venezuela. Oh, by the way, what's the first country to get a shipment of the oil from Venezuela, guys? like man, I don't like to play into the Israel did it thing, but like, it's so fucking obvious at this point. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just like, I don't know what else to say. It's so obvious what's going on. And I'm just like, I can't even sit on the fence about it anymore. Like, I can't. I just can't. I don't care. I don't care if it gets me in trouble. I don't care. Like, it's so fucking obvious what is happening and what's going on. I mean, you had Ted Cruz in Congress saying, like, we need to stop attacking pedophiles. Like, what are we doing here?
Clashed with Democratic Rep Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who accused Bondi of filibustering after she rebutted the lawmakers' attacks with remarkable range, referring to the booming stock market. Okay, we got to go for this. I got to play this one. So this dude, Atunes, I believe I don't know, a Newsweek featured guy, says Bondi loses.
What? Yeah, exactly. They asked her, why are we not indicting any of the clients? The Dow is 50K. Like, what?
Her mind when asked why she has not indicted any of Epstein's clients. Let me play the clip for you.
The Dow and the NASDAQ being high does absolutely nothing for middle and lower class people. Like, the trickle down has not happened. Like, so people like upper class might be living large right now, but nobody else is, right? Food prices are still going up, gas prices are going down, and cost of living is still going up, right? It's just like the trickle down is not happening, guys. So like, you fucked up somewhere because the trickle down's not happening, at least not yet. So, like, who the fuck cares? Regular people don't care what the Dow is or what the NASDAQ is. That means nothing to them. That doesn't affect their daily lives. That's only for the rich people. It's only for the hedge funds managers. Like, yeah, you guys are living on cloud nine, I'm sure. But, like, the rest of us ain't.
The Dow right now is over. The Dow is...
She literally didn't answer any fucking questions. Like, zero. Why are you doing this? Oh, the Dow.
It's over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin.
It's insane. It's
the
fucking
Dow
insane.
is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
Lady, you're at a congressional hearing about the biggest pedophile human trafficking ring in human history. You're the AG in charge of it. We're not here to talk about the Dow. We can talk about the Dow another time. Answer a fucking question. Why are you redacting so many fucking pedophiles? Why are you unredacting victims? What is this incompetency? Like, what are we doing here?
We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to...
You know how you make Americans safe is we literally we charge and indict every single pedophile in the Epstein files, and then we hang them by the neck. And then we save thousands of future children in America that are going to get abused by them. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. The Dow doesn't save people's lives.
To do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan,
Are you kidding? Bro, I hate this bitch so much.
Mr. Jordan.
Committee. Okay. Pam, with all due respect, I try to be a reasonable guy. I voted for Trump twice now. And I'm glad the documents are getting released. It's more than we've seen from other administrations. But the Dow is just something else. And it is great that things are going well, but we're allowed to care about more than one thing. If we want to have a hearing addressing the Epstein files, we can talk about the Dow at some other point. That being said, there's a very easy response to Pam Bondi here. If I was there, I'd say, Attorney General Bondi, I'd like to say to you, I agree.
So this
the
is
Dow,
when debate becomes very
the S&P.
Hear what you're saying.
Oh, we're gonna watch this later.
They are up. It is absolutely fantastic. We got great job numbers, and I'm happy the American people are seeing success thanks to the Trump administration, of which you are.
Nobody's seeing success. I have not seen a pay increase. I see food prices literally going up. I see like all food prices everywhere I go going up. Like gas is going down, right? I love that. Gas is going down. I'll give you that credit. But like everything else is still increasing. Like pretty drastically, actually.
You are a part. So thank you for that. That being said, is it okay if we focus now on a different area, which may not be the most important for the American people, but still is important to many?
No, I would argue we cannot function and we cannot function as a fucking country. We cannot function as the leader of the free world that stands for democracy and liberty and freedom and truth and God. We cannot be that country if we do not do something and punish the people involved in this shit. It's been 20 years in the making. It's finally all out in the public. It's time to hang these people. They need to hang. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. If Donald Trump is actually indicted of something in these files and he did do some of this shit, he needs to be hung. Hang him in the White House. I don't care. All of them. Steve Bannon needs to be hung. That guy committed treason. There's emails of him committing treason in the files. They're not even redacted. They didn't even bother to redact the Steve Bannon stuff, committing actual treason, selling out the administration to Israel, and then selling it to Jeffrey Epstein to then give it to obviously Barak Bahoud, whatever the fuck his name is, the Israeli prime minister. Like these emails are like, they're not even redacted. You could just see them. And clearly Steve Bannon is a compromised individual. This guy needs to be hung. He committed treason. Like honestly, bro, at this point, I actually just hope the Dems get in the office, because at least then I know these motherfuckers are actually gonna charge these people, right? As bad as the Dems are, they're not giant pussies, and they don't pretend, they don't act like they're not like, these guys will use their power. And like, bro, I honestly, like, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Like does Pam not realize what's gonna happen to her? The Dems are gonna crucify her. She's going to be fucking dragged through the mud if they win. Kash Patel is over, bro. Like that, honestly, you might need to put Kash Patel on a fucking suicide watch soon, because if the Dems win the midterms, like, these guys all know, you're going to see these guys jump ship immediately, by the way. When the Dems win the midterms, all of these fucking people are going to jump ship, and they're going to go into hiding, because they know what's going to happen to them, right? They know if they win the midterms, it's a good sign they're going to win the presidency, and it's a good sign that these guys are fucked in 2028. They're fucked. Like, they can't escape this. Like, you guys need to answer for this now. You need to get ahead of this now. You need to solve this now. If you don't, the Dems are going to use this as a cudgel to drag all of you into basically public executions. So, like, and honestly, I'm actually for it. Like, if you were involved, honestly, if you're involved in covering this up, you're just as guilty.
Let's address the Epstein files. That's my response. But we are a nation of adult children, and this is what you get. But here we go with Thomas Massie. Sorry.
Oh, he fucked that up. Oh no,
sorry.
I skipped it.
I'm largely with Massie on this one, but I do think, as much as Thomas Massie is my favorite member of Congress, I'm also a fan of Ro Khanna, though I disagree with him. Listen, certain names got redacted. You pushed back. They got unredacted. Okay, we move on. I mean, what do you...
No. That's retarded. No. Why were they redacted, and why were these ones not redacted? Like, why were these unredacted? That's a valid question. It doesn't matter that they fixed it 40 minutes later. They only fixed it because Massie called them out publicly, right? Massie called them out publicly and made them fix it. They weren't going to fix it otherwise, and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. So why was it happening? And that's a valid question to ask her, and instead of answering, she gave like this fucking like snippety remark. Like, go fuck yourself. No, like, don't play this off, bro. That's a valid question to ask. Why did you fuck this up? Why did you redact criminals and unredacted victims? Like, why did you do that?
What do you do? You know, like, you give someone a warning, say fix it, they fix it. Here's Thomas Massie.
Yeah, but this isn't like oh, you misspelt something. This isn't like you fucking you put an extra decimal point somewhere. You leaked the victims publicly, and you showed their names to not only the public, but you exposed them to the perpetrators that abused them in the first place, that are all rich, powerful business Jews that are now going to go after them. You fucking idiot.
My right is an email that was sent by the victims' lawyers to the DOJ. It was a list of names.
Yeah, I want to remind you, by the way, this wasn't even part of the Epstein like files. This was a whole secondary email sent to the DOJ that wasn't even supposed to be part of the files. And they accidentally leaked the whole email. It wasn't an accident, by the way.
Not to redact. A list of names not to release. What did the DOJ do with this email? They released this email in the document production. Literally the worst thing you could do to the survivors, you did.
Yeah.
And they're getting phone calls. A lot of these people didn't want to be known. And we know you touched the document because you redacted one name, and you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor's name there. The next document I want to show you.
Yeah, they did it on purpose. It wasn't an accident. They redacted the lawyer's name and other shit on the email and left the survivors. Like, it was not even part of the Epstein investigation. It was a secondary email sent recently telling, hey, don't redact all of these names. They're all victims. And you purposely left them in there. You put in an email that had nothing to do with this into, like, bro, it's insane. She doesn't even give an excuse. At least fucking lie. Give us an excuse. You didn't even do that. She just goes, you're a fake politician. You have TDS. Like, are you serious?
And that was in the title, the victims' survivors' names, all right? The title of this one is Child Sex Trafficking, Co-Conspirators, Fully Redacted. And by the way, I'm going to unredact them here. Les Wexner is in this.
Ooh, get
now,
him!
your deputy attorney general said, he
man, I'm gonna
appears
get in so much trouble.
hundreds of times in the files. But he doesn't appear in this file until I forced you to release it, where he's listed as a co-conspirator, not to tax evasion, but to child sex trafficking.
And, you know, I just want to point out that if you guys watch Luke Rudkowski over at We Are Change, you'd have already known this well before the files were released.
Not to prostitution, not to money laundering, child sex trafficking. And then finally, what we have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD 302 release. These are the documents that we need that you're holding on to and over redacting because they have the names of the men who are implicated. How do we know? Because the survivors gave testimony to the FBI, and it's in there. And what happens when you go to the portal at the DOJ to look at what's behind this redaction? Another redaction. So we can't even see them. And then there's some of these files you've pulled down from the website that we will never see because we can't search the redactions. So I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document?
There was a document talking about the FBI going after Epstein co-conspirators, and it got taken down. And so we know that there are co-conspirators, and they claimed there weren't. I'm just done with this. Guys, I'm going to say this because I try to be nice. You know, Dan Bongino, I think, has done a fantastic job for us and what we believe in. He has helped build parallel economy, Rumble, and he couldn't get the job done for whatever reason. But he says that, you know, Epstein killed himself, and he recently said that there were, it's uncorroborated, it's hard to do, blah, blah, blah. Dan, Pam, we know there are co-conspirators. You release these, the messaging has been miserably bad. Y'all need better PR unless this was the point, in which case, congratulations, what you always wanted. But Thomas Massey's making a really important point here. The victim said, hey, please don't release these names. And they went, released. Then there's another document about co-conspirators, and they redact Lex Wexner. And then the FD 302 is a gigantic black box, meaning whoever's handling these redactions clearly doesn't care about the victims and deeply cares about the co-conspirators.
Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes.
And with respect to Pam, the DOJ.
No, it's not in respect. You're the DOJ. You're the Attorney General. You've been doing nothing but fucking up since day one. It's unacceptable that you're fucking up. This should have been triple checked, quadruple checked before being released. This doesn't even look like you guys bothered to read half of them. It just looks like you sent in interns to just fucking put black bars everywhere. It's embarrassing. You're fucking an embarrassment. You need to step down immediately as AG. You do. You need to go away. We need to remove these fucking bimbo cunts from politics. Women have no place in the political sphere. Get them the fuck out of here. Like, just get them the fuck out. I'm so tired of it, dude. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Oh, but we fixed it 40 minutes later. What are you saying? Like, what are you saying? We fixed it 40 minutes. Yeah, but you still do you know how the internet works, you stupid cunt? Like, are you stupid? Are you fucking retarded? Do you know how the internet works? And we fixed it 40 minutes later. Yeah, it's 40 minutes too long, you dumb bitch.
Jay, yes. So I don't think we need to. I agree with this. Good.
Like listen, I'm glad nobody's showing up to this stream today, because I'm gonna be unhinged for like the next 3 hours. So if you want to see me completely freak the fuck out for the next 3 hours, then stay tuned, because all of this Epstein shit and the way that the Trump admin has been handling all of it, it's been fucking driving me insane. Like, I actually have been getting physically sick over this shit. Like, I've been getting physically sick, bro. Like, brother, when I learned in Deep Dive the jerky stuff, and I started reading the emails, it wasn't even just I read it before Asmon. I even saw the Asmon video. Like, I was already reading them with friends, and we were sharing them, and then Asmon covered it, and then other people covered it, and then I read more of the emails, and like, I actually physically vomited. Like, it's crazy to me how desensitized people are to this. Like they're eating babies. Like, they're fucking eating children. I don't understand why everybody's so nonchalant. And everybody's like, like, maybe I get it because like it's too much for your brain to process, or like you just like you feel powerless. But it's like you still should be fucking saying something, man. Like, this is insane. Like, we have emails I just don't get it. I don't know.
If some underling or someone else does this and Pam is not immediately aware as the boss, I'm not going to get mad at her. I'm just going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, you need to unredact this. And when they...
What? Bro, is he retarded? I mean, I know he's retarded. Like, I know he's a fucking ape, but like, are we serious? Brother, they released all of the victims' personal information. It wasn't even supposed to be in there. It's not about redacting anything. The email had nothing to do with the Epstein files. She put in a personal email sent to the DOJ from the victims' lawyers. It should never have happened in the first place, you stupid fucking retard.
They go, oh, okay. I say thank you. That's it. So look, I love you, Thomas. Massey's the best, but we, tone the volume down a little bit. We're all working towards this, right? We can get the job done.
He was already. You're actually.
No, she's not working towards it. That's the problem, Tim. They're not working towards it. They're trying to cover it up, and in the same time, they're trying to like shoehorn a bunch of anti-Semitism laws into the books at the same time all this is happening. It's fucking insane.
Like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I got to agree with Pam on this one. Like, everybody's known this guy's name about this Epstein stuff for a hot minute.
No, that's not the point, you fucking idiot. This guy is actually retarded. Bro, like, I hope, like, are you serious? Like, how do you have 2 million subscribers? How are you a news authority? Like, usually you're good, brother, but like, the point is like, yeah, his name is in unrelated emails that somewhat implicate him. This specific slide are the FBI's official rulings that list him as a co-conspirator. It's literally an indictment. It's a criminal indictment. It's literally the FBI letter that indicts him as a co-conspirator. You fucking ignoramus, bro. Like, are you stupid? Like, are you stupid? Oh, it's not like everybody didn't know. Yeah, but this is actual proof that the FBI themselves consider him a co-conspirator. They have enough evidence to consider him part of the trafficking ring. So, like, that got redacted. Of course. So that makes it even worse, you fucking moron. Just think about it. They don't redact all of his other emails in the file. Yeah, 4,000 times Les Wexner is in the files. You're right. And those emails, and guess what? His name's not redacted from all of that. So why the fuck would you then redact him from the FBI letter that strictly labels him as a co-conspirator, that actually indicts him on criminal offenses? Why would you do that then, Tim? Just an accident, I guess. Oh, yeah? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, we just accept that the DOJ just makes casual little accidents, guys. It's okay, guys. The DOJ, the top Justice Department in the land, almost in the world even. Yeah, man, it's okay. They just, they're just a bunch of interns working there, and they accidentally released, the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's like personal information on the internet, and they covered up all the actual people that were like labeled as co-conspirators by the FBI during investigations and were actually like criminally involved. Yeah, it's okay, guys. It's just a mistake, guys. They fixed it, right? They fixed it. By the way, they didn't fix Lex Wessner. They didn't fix that one, by the way. So she's so happy to like celebrate. Oh well, we fixed the victims being unredacted. Oh, okay. But what you didn't fix is this specific slide that covered up all the co-conspirators. You didn't fix that one. Him and Ro Khanna went in and looked at the unredacted files, and then he came out and basically called him out. And now you have to unredact it, right? Like, dude.
Minutes. But I understand Massey's point in that you shouldn't release these, and you should release these, and you didn't do it. To be fair, Pam Bondi's like, we did it right away when you told us. So why are we fighting?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. She didn't unredact Les Wessner. He just did it now. He did it earlier. He went in a public interview and basically exposed him being in it. They didn't unredact this. It's still not unredacted. They pulled this down, Tim. They hid this. After people saw it, they hid it. You can't pull this up anymore. They removed it from the files.
Answer this question.
Reclaiming my time.
He was
Mr. Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time back? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from
All right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So
Yes.
I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman,
Because I
may I
have
give my
answer
answer on that?
Here's
It's a political
the question.
joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
We'll let the
political
Attorney General
joke.
respond, and then the gentleman can move to the next question.
It's my time.
Within 40
Chairman.
minutes, you asked me a question.
You can give
Within
me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and we.
Okay, hold on. Massey's point is his name does appear thousands of times, but on the one point where they actually implicate him, they redacted it.
Oh, good job, Tim. You figured it out. You're a little slow there, buddy, aren't you?
Bro, seriously, like, guys, am I a fucking savant? Like, I don't consider myself very smart. Am I just like 100? Like, I know I have 130 something IQ. Like, I've gotten tested before. I took a Mensa test, but like, am I a fucking genius? Like, is that the problem? Am I just too smart? Like, how the fuck do I figure this out? And this retard who does this for a living can't figure this out until 40 minutes in the video, and he's like, oh, I guess what he meant is this one was the important document, and they covered up. Yeah, no shit, you fucking idiot.
However, Thomas, they unredacted it. And so
No, they didn't, Tim. They removed the whole file from... You can't look it up. They removed it.
I'm never playing this game like, I got you red-handed. It's a simple...
He did catch them red-handed. He went in, looked at the unredacted files of Ro Khanna, and they came out of the thing and basically both realized that they were covering it up. Like, yes, he did catch them red-handed. Literally, yes, he did. Like, wait, what? What are you saying?
Listen, here's how I do this. Secretary Bondi, please unredact this name, please. Okay? Please, I said twice, 3 times now. And then she does, and you move on. You don't need to yell at someone and say you caught him red-handed if they did it.
Invited you
Show the
in.
video.
This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to. You're a failed politician.
How's that funny? Dude, I can't watch this guy anymore. Like, bro, honestly, like, bro. And the thing is like, everybody agrees. Like, dude, I'm swear to God, these streamers and content creators and all these these right-wing people, like all these news politicians or politicos, whatever, they're so fucking out of touch, is insane. I'm literally watching them all get roasted in their comment sections. Like, bro, why are you laughing? It wasn't funny. Like, how do you even imply he has TDS? If anything, Trump has Massey derangement syndrome. He can't stop talking about the fucking guy. They pretend like Massey votes like a Democrat. Massey has a higher average Republican vote rate than anybody else in the House. It's just like who cares if he doesn't vote the same way as you all the time? Like, that's fucking crazy. What are you, a cult? Answer the fucking question. Why are you covering up a pedo ring?
Thomas Massey is not a failed politician. He's massively popular, and he's going to win no matter what Trump wants to do. Thomas Massey is a legend, and we love him. Okay? I can say this. I can say for anybody else, criticism where criticism is due. I think Thomas is being a little heavy-handed on this one, but I appreciate
He's not. He's actually not being hard enough.
The work that he's done. I'm not here to just pony up and defend Trump on literally everything.
You literally are, though. Like, you're actually a dick rider. It's insane.
Book Between Two Ages and how well he understood the technocratic era. So they created a steering committee for him to be on, and that's ironically what Epstein says he was recruited into and put in the steering committee of Trilateral in 1990 because the Kissinger family and David Rockefeller himself.
Yeah, so the Trilateral is literally the Illuminati, right? So when they talk about the Illuminati and like the secret entities that control all the world's politics and government, that's what the Trilateral was, right? The Trilateral was an attempt to do that. It was all the richest, most powerful businessmen in the world and powerful bankers basically uniting in a common interest to push politics a certain way.
CFR apologists that Western banking for several hundred years has been based on that sort of Rothschild model. That's what the Federal Reserve is based on, is the idea of...
Yeah, by the way, you guys don't hate the Rothschilds enough. You don't hate them enough. In fact, I it's really funny because Valve just like slam dunked one of them in the face. If you want to know why like gaming's been so shit in the last few years, it's because of Rothschilds, by the way. When you guys actually learn how disgustingly bad and vile and how much human garbage the Rothschilds are, they're involved in everything behind the scenes, and they're the reason why everything's shit. Abusing copyright laws, IP infringement. They abuse every legal system under the books to just extract money from people.
Interested in banking, but he just thinks, I think that an international democrat, the way he describes it at the end of the book as an apologist, he says an international capitalist democratic order is for him the greatest hope in response to a century of two world wars and a Cold War. So he thinks the tragedy of the century is the wars. The hope is democratic capitalism. I know that sounds kind of fake and gay, but he wrote that in the 1960s. And so, that is what he says at the end of the book. He's like, I don't have to steelman it because that's what he says. He says, look, yeah, I'm an apologist for this system. He even says that in the book. He says, I was permitted access to the CFR archives, and I am defending the position because I think this is the best hope for the modern world. It's not going to be with a traditionalist Russia, he says, and it's not going to be with a traditional Catholic Axis power like Austro-Hungarian Empire or something like that. The future will be something akin to a international democratic capitalist order. So that's what he thinks, or that's what he says at least. But and of course, he was Bill Clinton's mentor, and again, a high-level CFR historian and archivist.
Yep.
And what I'm getting at is that that's ironic because I didn't actually expect Epstein to have been recruited into the Trilateral Commission. I would have thought he was more of a, just doing more organized crime type stuff. But apparently,
No.
he was definitely higher.
He was literally. It's like basically Epstein was revealed like he was Emu. Like if you picture One Piece and like the empty throne, and then Epstein just comes out and sits on it. Like that's literally what we basically learned in the files. Like he's actually on par with the Rothschilds, the J.P. Morgans. He's on par with all these big families that basically manipulate and control the world behind the scenes.
Brzezinski or a Kissinger to some degree because he's on their steering committees.
Right. Okay.
All right. While you guys listen to this, because this is a really good
relationship with
breakdown.
The Rothschilds. Let's just first of all
I'll be
actually
back.
go
I have
back
to go
in
to the
history a
bathroom.
little bit and understand why it's important.
But you guys are going to cover everything I want to really talk
I
about.
think
anyway.
everybody's maybe watched a few videos about the Rothschilds and the international banking syndicate that they sort of run, and how they came from a family, right, where the father gave an inheritance to the kids, or he said the kids around the world, and they all made banks in various different countries and then all sort of worked together. And they've been very much involved. Were they involved in the French Revolution? They were definitely involved in the creation of the State of Israel and the World War I and II funding.
That's a great question. I mean, Quigley has a whole chapter on the funding of the French Revolution, and he says Jewish and Swiss banks that were Protestant, but he doesn't say which. However, out of the French Revolution, the Rothschilds did become the primary members of the French central bank. So this becomes what's called the Paribas banking system. So Paribas is the Rothschild banking network and system. So you're absolutely correct that the original forefather sent his sons out throughout Europe and said, "Go set it up," in these different countries. And ironically, that according to some authors on this topic, that appears to be the same model that they did in the U.S. as well, because people a lot of times normie historians think, "Oh, well, there was no Rothschild presence in the United States, at least not until the modern era." But people have actually dug into this, and there's a lot of theory that J.P. Morgan and the early Morgan bankers of the 1800s were actually a front for the Rothschilds, and I think there is significant evidence to suggest that. So I think,
Well, because the
yeah,
theory
that's
is that
the
they sort
model.
of died out over time, isn't it? That there was some conflict in the family, and then eventually the Rothschilds didn't have as much power. But you're saying that they actually had fronts for their family banking dynasty.
Well, the Paribas system lasted for a while. It didn't endure, but some people think that there's also shadow banking, and ironically, Epstein seems to mention this here and there. And that's an element to where, because a lot of these banks that are super secretive, there's things that we don't know even to this day. For example, one of the books that my publisher just put out about the Bank for National Settlements, which is one of these high tier post World War II. It's the sort of bank for central banks. Like, they have classified documents that no one has seen. In fact, there was just some declassified documents a few years ago that people went and researched about the BIS and learned about its relationship to the Bank of England. So because there's shadow banking, and there's even classifications about international banking for many years, like, there's a lot of things that we don't know. So there could be hidden wealth, shadow wealth that we don't know about, and that's what leads a lot of people to say, "Oh, the Rothschilds never lost money." And but it's still, I mean, either way, it's possible that they did, lose some pedigree over time. But there was also some articles, maybe 8, 10 years ago, even in mainstream media, that the American Rothschild banking empire, or excuse me, the American Rockefeller banking empire had joined forces with the Rothschild banking empire. So even if they did lose some pedigree, I mean, they're still very important, still very powerful, and they still apparently have no problem, openly engaging in the same types of activities that Epstein was involved in, and networking with him. And so, in other words, we don't really know, but we can look at some indicators of possibilities.
Right. So then, moving forward here, do you think that Epstein's relationship with the Rothschilds was more just managing assets, or do you think that it's more of a relationship of them pulling the levers of what he's doing and him working for them?
I think it's the latter, because again, going back to, for example, like I said earlier, the origins of modern intelligence, like, um, when they have that famous story about Nathan Rothschild, or excuse me, about the Rothschild situation in the UK when he had advanced intelligence on Waterloo. They brag about that in pages 48, 49 of the book, the Morton authorized biography, that, yeah, this is a true story. We used intel to know ahead of time how to trade and to buy up when the stock market crashed, so forth. So that's essentially what we see. Fast forward 200 years later, and you've got, these emails between him and Ariana talking about the exact same strategy, the exact same model. So I think that he that's, again, like, you don't have to be trained by the CIA at Langley to be, like, doing these kinds of operations and networking for intelligence. I mean, you could be an asset, you could be just in Israeli intelligence, they have the idea of the Katsa, or the Cyanim. These are also possibilities as well. You don't have to be, James Bond to be doing this kind of stuff. And there's also corporate espionage, there's private espionage, those things exist too. So the Rothschild model is apparently, banking and intelligence is their connection. Interpol, if I recall, I think, comes out of Rothschild intelligence networking, and many media outlets. Was it AP, or is it The Economist, is a Rothschild magazine, and then one
Right.
of the big out. I don't know if it's AP, or if it's United Press, or one of those is also has its origins in the Rothschild networks. But so they really figured this out for banking, that having an intelligence network is the way to really do it. And by the way, David Rockefeller has a chapter in his memoirs where he says, "I learned in my intelligence time in the military how to set up the networks and the structuring for my banking empire." So they
Mm.
take the intelligence civil service and they translate it into the private sphere. By the way, that's exactly what Epstein consults Ehud Barak on. He says, "I'm going to teach you how to go from civil service, public service, into taking that information, that knowledge, and putting it into private intelligence and private service, and becoming a consultant. You can consult, he says, for millions of dollars a year just consulting people. So, long story short, yeah, I think it is more so the latter. And again, it's difficult to know because so much of banking is kind of private and proprietary and secretive. And even the two biggest central secret banks in the world, like the Vatican Bank or the Bank for National Settlements, I mean, they're super secretive. But there's so much we don't even know about what they're up to, and they do that by design, right? That's the real secret society, is these international banking cliques,
Mm.
and that's why they can fund both sides of conflicts. They need to be international and above nation state purview. And if you're going to fund criminal operations or black ops or whatever, like, you don't want congressional oversight. You don't want inquiries into that money. You need these kind of super secretive banks. And the way Epstein even describes this surprised me. He was describing how the Vatican Bank works to Larry Summers, who is a Clinton era banking vulture. You would think that a guy coming out of Harvard would know how the Vatican Bank works, but apparently Epstein had to explain to him that this is the greatest secret bank. It's perfect for money laundering and funneling things to black ops. It's because it's super secret, and the BIS is the same way.
Right. So we mentioned before about the email with him and Teal. And then I think off stream you told me that this is like reminiscent, or as Candace Owens would say, reminiscent of the way in which the Rothschilds have done things over the last few hundred
That's
years.
when you are all remembering, right? You're
Yeah.
reminiscent. You can remember all things. Like, it's
Yes, yeah,
omniscient
yeah,
with reminiscent. I'm sorry, I
yeah.
couldn't. But listen, Jake, don't be too macabre. Okay, so a lot of these topics are dark.
These
They're
are
very much macabre.
these are macabre topics, dude. So how does that link up if you're looking at the way in which the Rothschilds have done things over the past few hundred years, and then the sort of maneuvering that Epstein's doing there to try and get into the new money tech world?
Yeah, great point. Because as we said, say with Waterloo, or the way that Quigley's chapter on French banking and the Paribas system describes it, is that it's intimately connected to intelligence. And if you want a more modern, updated version of this, which perfectly applies to Epstein, watch Oliver Stone's movie Wall Street, because you have the Charlie Sheen character, Bud Fox, who goes to Wall Street. He's from a middle class working family. He wants to make it big. He wants to get out of the small town. He's going to be a multimillionaire. And he thinks if he can be like Gordon Gekko, the Michael Douglas Viper trader character, he can get out of it. And what he learns is very perceptive for Stone to put this in the film. What he learns is that everything that Michael Douglas is teaching him is the opposite of what he thought that world was. He thought if you just worked hard, paid attention to the data, made the calls, watched your computer screens, whatever, that you would be a great trader. And actually, Gordon Gekko says, "You idiot. It's about insider knowledge and advanced knowledge. That's how you make your money. You get dirt on people. You do that. That's the way to the top." And it sort of blows the mind of, Bud Fox, because it requires him eventually to turn on his own family and their business. So Wall Street's good to see that. And that's really the model, I think, that the Rothschild figured out a long time ago, is that, do you want to get ahead of the game? You want to know where to put money? Epstein has a couple of emails joking about that, where he's like, yeah, we, short trade certain stocks and we leave that to the Goyim, and they can deal with he says they can deal with the real world. We have the insider world. That was a very insightful email there, because that's exactly what we're talking about. So banking is more close to intelligence than the James Bond stuff, although there's a lower level of that kind of stuff going on.
So just
But
quickly,
yeah,
just
that's
so
what.
that when he's talking about the insider stuff, can you just explain like what that means a little bit better? So they are doing all of the dirty work, and they're sort of like controlling and manipulating the market, if you will, and then other people like the Goyim, they say, are like the ones who are invested in the stocks and buying and selling in certain points and everything. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah. So, for example, just coming off the top of my head, like if there's going to be a chaos or conflict in a region, that's going to disrupt obviously the economics of that region. So, for example, Ukraine, when the Ukraine conflict popped off, it wasn't too long until the conflict popped off obviously with Maidan and all that. But by the time of Zelensky, if you remember, there was that clip where Zelensky was like, "Want to tell you, everybody in the West, to BlackRock, all of you companies, come to Ukraine, great to
Yes.
buy things."
Yeah.
Well, that's an example where in the Epstein emails, we get this impression that he's constantly sort of scanning to see where the next conflict zones might be so that they can get in ahead of the conflict and be ready to, buy things up, short the market, whatever it is, say based on the resources or the.
Like, it's not really much to say. He's basically covering everything I want to cover, so that's why we're watching this. I mean, everything I want to say and explained what's happening, he's basically covering it. So,
the grain that comes out of that area, or the one of the really insightful emails on this was the Somali email.
we're just
That
gonna
was
watch
crazy because way before we had all these migrants in the West, Epstein seems to have been aware of a coming Somalia, destabilization chaos operation where he says we can get in there, get in early, grab the resources. Another insight into this is Hillary's letter, or she wrote an essay for the Brookings Institute, which is a big high-level think tank. This was back when everybody was talking about Hillary's pay-to-play scandal, that you had these world leaders, Saudis and others, were putting money into Hillary's campaign as a pay-to-play scam, where when she went into some country like Libya, and then they divide up the gold, then the people who donated to her campaign would get their cut, basically. So that's another angle of it. Yeah, I mean, look up Hillary's little paper she wrote for Brookings, and then it came out same thing in the WikiLeaks Hillary's emails, and there's an Epstein email basically confirming the same thing about Libya, that when we go in, we can get Gaddafi's gold. He has, I forget what they said, $2 billion worth of gold stashed up. We'll use the U.S. So they basically use the U.S. government, the stupidity of the American public and patriotism to get them on board with these foreign ventures that are actually about, gaining the land and the resources and the precious, rare earth minerals in these regions.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I'm super interested in, I don't know, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on in terms of this whole Rothschild's connection and the old money, new money thing? Because soon I want to move on to this eugenics program, but anything else you've got in regards to this?
Well, it's interesting that in regard to the connection that not many people have called attention to, other than myself, is the Vatican Bank that that Epstein seemed to know so much about, and his close connection with John Paul II.
John Paul II. Yep,
not
also
just,
covered
by
up
the
a
way,
lot
allegedly
of scandals.
staying in the Vatican for a period of time, and then consulting John Paul on various architectural features, which we know Epstein was very into tile and architecture for whatever reason. And structural compounds that have tunnels, by the way. But he also says in another email that he had been gifted some ceiling piece from John Paul II. We know he was at a John Paul II audience where he and Ghislaine received a blessing. So I think there's significant connections there that do make a clear, close relationship with John Paul II. Now, I'm not saying that we know that John Paul was involved in anything per se, but that there was this close relationship, I think, is verifiable, and the people running point to sort of disarm this argument are full of it. Most of the arguments are totally bull crap. But the reason I bring that up is that it's not accidental that he has a deep insight into the workings of the Vatican Bank, because he seems to have that close relationship with John Paul II, and he knows the inner workings of why Benedict XVI stepped down, and it had to do with the Vatican Bank, which is, again, if you know from Operation Gladio and the lectures that we've done from multiple books from multiple different political perspectives on Gladio, we can absolutely confirm that that was this OSS CIA operation. But again, who are the papal bankers since the 1800s officially on record? The Rothschilds. And this is well known. It's admitted public historical fact all the way back to 1832. And then loans all the way up into the late 1800s.
Yep.
And then presumably still having that close relationship, which is why it makes perfect sense that as a Rothschild representative, he would be knowing the inner workings of the Vatican Bank, because the Rothschilds have a close relationship to the Vatican Bank.
Right. I mean, I don't know anything about the Vatican Bank. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't even know that there was a Vatican Bank. And I actually want to pick your brains a little bit more about this now. But guys, we are going to be reading out some super chats if they do come in. Any questions that you guys have got for Jay, if you did want to do that after this topic, we'll read them out. So get them in if you'd like. But Jay, Vatican Bank, what are we talking here? What is that?
Well, certainly all churches and religious institutions have, some form of banking accounts or something like that. So let me be very clear on what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a religious institution, getting donations or having money or something like that. I'm saying a specific unique bank that is international, that is the Vatican's bank, called the Institute for Religious Works. And so the Institute for Religious Works, by the way, has been riddled by constant scandals for many, many decades, many, many years. The most famous of which of recent times is the Roberto Calvi case, and the connection to the P2 mafia. And this is what led to the death of not just Roberto Calvi, but many people think John Paul I, and a host of other people and bankers throughout Italy. And this is in regard to what's called Operation Gladio and the Banco d'Ambrosio scandal, which was
Yeah, honestly, if you're Catholic, you need to convert immediately. Just so you know, just a heads up. I would recommend it, but you do you. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm just saying, the Vatican is so implicated in all of this, and the Pope's implicated into it. I would just maybe consider converting.
part of the Vatican Bank's network scandal. So,
Hmm.
long story short, because the Vatican Bank was an international bank, and because the Vatican, particularly at the time of the Cold War, so right after World War II, Bill Donovan, James Jesus Angleton, and William Colby, three very important CIA, OSS, and CIA figures, who were all Roman Catholic, by the way. They set up these very close relationships through working at the Rome desk in the case of Colby and Angleton with the Vatican. And so Vatican has its own secret service, its own intelligence operation, and it has its
Yep.
own bank. And because the communists were beginning to win elections and getting popular in the Cold War in Italy, the CIA said, "Well, we don't want that, happening in Italy." And the Vatican obviously agreed, and so there was this alliance that was made. This is all public. This isn't conspiracy theory, because the Vatican wanted help so that the Christian Democratic Party could win the elections and not the communists. So that's what forged the original connection. And those CIA operatives said, "Well, look, we're happy to do this, but we're going to need the Vatican also to be on our side when we need things from the Vatican." And that led to this relationship between people like Cord Meyer and other individuals who would become famous CIA drug traffickers. That's how they set up this relationship to have black budget money funneled through the Vatican. Why? Because the Vatican is the world's most secret bank next to the BIS, and it's not subject to Italian laws or EU laws. It's its own independent city state. So just like the Washington, D.C. is an independent city state within the United States, so likewise, the Vatican is its own independent city state. It's not subject to the Italian laws or to European laws. So, as even Epstein himself describes, which I thought that's why I honed in on that email so much, because so many of the books that we've highlighted over the years, whether it's Paul Williams or whether it's the God's Banker text, which is about Roberto Calvi and all this, all of that was really vindicated, I think, in that Epstein email description about the Vatican Bank. So this is all 100% real stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Did
So
I make? I mean, I feel like am I putting out too much? Like, am I not explaining it well? Like, am I just putting out too much names and facts? Not to you, but I'm saying, do you think for the sake of the
no,
audience, like,
I'm
is there
just.
is there
I
something like?
think it's probably the audience probably gets it better than I do, but I do kind of get
Well,
what you're
I
saying
didn't mean
though.
that to insult you at all.
No, 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 no.
Right.
But I did say to you, I kind of want to like I get the things, but connecting the dots is the hard part sometimes, and that's why I really wanted to talk to you today because the dot connecting, like you have all of the individual stories, but it's sort of in its own little factions, and
Well,
then
let me
trying
put it
to
this way.
connect it.
So
Yeah.
the way that, according to Paul Williams's Gladio book, and he was an FBI consultant, so he's not really some sort of like wild conspiracy theory. He's a Catholic historian guy who consulted the FBI all the way back to the late 2000s on organized crime and Al Qaeda. We lectured on his book on Al Qaeda a few months ago, but he wrote a book on Operation Gladio and the Vatican Bank scandals.
Mm.
And again, there's many other books that we've covered too, but his is particularly, I think, instructive because he's a Catholic, so he's not like coming at this from some vendetta against the Roman Catholic Church or something. And he's not a conspiracy theorist. He's just sort of looking at the data and information. And as Gladio became more and more public, what happened was in the 1990s, they didn't know what to call it, but they knew that there were these stay behind networks that were operating throughout Europe that were originally set up by the OS and CIA in case of a Soviet NKVD invasion. So if Stalin ever moved into Europe, the purpose of Gladio supposedly was to fend off a Stalinist invasion. So, and that makes sense. Like, obviously, if I'm anti-communist, that makes sense why you would do that. And I'm not pro-Soviet at all, or pro-communist or pro-socialist. I'm just giving you the layout of why they were doing this. The problem is that it also became a network, you could say, throughout Europe for corruption and for chaos with these people who were trained in terror cells and terror operations, but they also compromised many high-level Italian and Vatican officials, and that came.
Yeah, so if you don't understand, basically, this is a completely unregulated bank. It does not follow any international laws or any actual territorial laws of any country. And basically, the CIA, Mossad, every MI6, like whatever, they all use the Vatican Bank essentially as a funnel for all their black project books, all their black projects. So like if they're like trying to destabilize a country and they have a bunch of black ops going on and they need to like funnel money like to that country or to operatives on scene, or they're working on some secret project like MK Ultra or something. That's why we never get any of that stuff revealed when we actually like check the books. That's why you have all this money that the Pentagon can't corroborate, right? Like how many times does the Pentagon fail its audit check, right? It always has like trillions of dollars missing, and they're like, oh, I don't know where it is. Well, it's in the Vatican Bank. That's where it is. So from this early on connection, ever since then, basically, the CIA, intelligence agencies have basically always used the Vatican Bank to do this. But on the flip side, where it connects to Epstein is, well, he is an intelligence person, but also it's just like apparently it's common for even like the rich and wealthy bankers of the world to funnel funds through the Vatican. And the implication here is that this is how Epstein covered up all the money he would make and all the transfers from all the child trafficking. Is basically the Vatican is implicit, and they would use the Vatican Bank to make the transaction. So if some royal wanted to buy a child for a night, they would pay through the Vatican Bank. So that's what the whole implication here is from his little rant. But yeah, it's pretty bad. If you're a Catholic, I would 100% convert or bless your heart. Good luck.
Out in European news in the 1990s. They didn't know that it was called Gladio yet, but this compromise list was leaked. And guess what? Same model as the type of stuff that Epstein was doing. It's just that back then with the P2 Lodge, it was more so prostitutes. There probably were some gay things going on, but they were called
Always.
Boonga Boonga
There always
parties.
is.
Yeah, you can just look up Berlusconi's. There were some scandals that came out 10 years ago about the same things going on with the Boonga Boonga parties with Berlusconi. And when they Epstein even invited Berlusconi to the island, and Berlusconi made a joke, something like the women who come to my parties actually want to come back. I don't have to enslave them. Or he says some joke like that, like I don't have to traffic them because they actually like coming to my party. So just look up Boonga Boonga parties with Berlusconi. Berlusconi is on record as a P2 Lodge member. So he was part of the P2 Lodge, which is where they were recruiting people into Gladio. Long story short, Kissinger, according to Paul Williams, was the mastermind of how to put Licio Gelli, who was the head of the lodges, the Grand Master lodges, P2 lodges in Italy, put him in control of this operation together with Michele Sindona, who was in charge of Italian organized crime in Italy. They worked together with the lodge and with organized crime to bring people into Gladio in case of the Soviet invasion. But what it ended up being was an entire government being compromised in the 60s and 70s by Kissinger running this operation. Now, who spots Brzezinski and who spots, apparently, according to Epstein, for Rockefeller? Kissinger circles, right? So they did the same thing with Epstein, putting him into this role. Same thing with Licio Gelli and Michele Sindona in Italy to run a big compromised government control shadow government operation. So I don't think it's accidental if you read those books.
So who do you think he had the closest relationship with of all of the different agencies? Because there's just so many that are named here. You've got obviously like the Vatican, you've got the various different intelligence agencies, CIA, Mossad, the MI6. You've got the guy from the Emirati businessman that he's involved with. It seems like he pretty much has his toes dipped in every single pond, right? He's got his fingers in every single
Exactly.
pie. So who is he most close
Well, I
with,
think
do you think?
he's definitely a high level operative and fixer for the Western elite, right?
Western elite.
So again, he's up there hanging out. We find out in the circles of Rockefeller, Kissinger, Brzezinski. He's in those circles, so he's higher up than, like you said, than we thought, and that would mean that he's really probably, you know, up near the top, but not at the top. So that would mean he's probably a high level operative for all of Western intelligence because he's working with Saudis, he's working with sheikhs. Like I said at the beginning, the second day one of those emails came out that he had planned to meet like 15 heads of state. And it's like, how are you doing all this without, approval above government? Now, what's something we always talk about on my channel is that the people at the steering committees, they're above people at the CIA. Okay. People
Right.
that run foundations, that's higher than being a CIA section chief or, some sort of operative in the field, obviously, or something like that, or handler. So this is above that. This is at the level of steering committee, Bilderberg type stuff, Davos type stuff. And you saw that one email where he was saying, we want to make Davos the new United Nations. United Nations is too fake and gay. It doesn't really get anything done. We want to put Davos in there. And he talks a lot about Davos and that's because Davos was also a Kissinger project. Harvard research project was the brainchild of Kissinger, and they collated this idea to set up another one of these steering committees, kind of like Bilderberg, but a little more public with broader reach and scope. And that's essentially what World Economic Forum in Davos was. And
Right. So
that's
World
why
Economic
Klaus
Forum, that was started like 1971, Klaus Schwab, right? He started that. It was smaller back then, but then wasn't Kissinger more involved in the Club of Rome? Wasn't he involved in that, in the Club of Rome, or was he directly involved in the formation of the World Economic Forum?
He's directly involved in WEF, so it comes out
Right.
of Kissinger and Harvard Research Project. So, but no, I'm sure Kissinger has a role in Club of Rome too, because another key Rockefeller operative, Maurice Strong, was one of the key chair people of Club of Rome. So you're noticing a pattern here of like obviously David Rockefeller plays a huge role, which we've said for many years. I have this biography of the Rockefeller family right there, authorized biography, and
I got
that
it too,
biography just
actually.
tells everything. Like they were
Yep.
behind the ecumenist movement, the National Council of Churches, World Council of Churches. They were
They're behind
behind
Ukraine.
setting up the CFR. They played a huge role in setting up the United Nations. They donated the land for the UN. Played a huge role in setting up the
They basically own
OSS and
Hollywood.
CIA. So they play a huge role. They're big, massive. And one of their key recruits, also out of intelligence, is Henry Kissinger. So Kissinger had a time in intelligence as well. He's brought in to kind of be this sort of neocon operative for many years for that family. And I'm just pointing out that like now a lot of those things make more sense to me, that it's pointing to this sort of overarching oligarchical power structure that runs the West, not the politicians. Like the politicians have a very minuscule degree of power, but up at that level of the steering committee people, and I think you could place the Royals up there pretty high as well. They do have a lot of power. But everybody points to that picture of like Lord Rothschild's like pointing his finger in King Charles is like he's putting his finger into his chest, like you're gonna do what I say, if you've seen that famous picture. So
Makes sense.
I think the Rothschilds, they've had a huge amount of power in the UK. I think the British Empire eventually became kind of a cutout for them. And if you read even Tragedy and Hope, which is not at all interested in so much of the Rothschild stuff, he admits all kinds of stuff about the Rothschilds, like the Suez Canal. That was all a Rothschild operation. Quigley basically admits that what's his name, Cecil Rhodes and the Rhodes Trust and all the diamond operations, that was De Beers, that was all Rothschild money too.
And the
So
Rothschilds were
I think they,
directly involved with the creation of the State of Israel, right? The Balfour Declaration was written
oh,
to,
absolutely.
yeah.
In fact,
Yep.
according to
And they
even before
destabilized Ukraine.
Balfour, all the way back in the 1860s, according to their family history, and according to Moses Hess in his book Rome and Jerusalem, they were buying land in the 1860s.
Oh shit.
So they had an idea to have, originally, according to Morton, he says the idea was to have just pilgrimage sites that Jews could visit. But eventually it became more and more of a political thing because the political Zionists like Chaim Weizmann and Theodor Herzl were putting pressure on the Rothschilds and saying, hey, we need to actually get into politics. It's not going to be just a religious pilgrimage site. Because in the 1860s and later on, they were just kind of buying land for Jews to do pilgrimages, and they were buying land from the Turkish sultans, right? So it
Right.
wasn't like they were just stealing the land immediately from Palestinians. They were buying it from Turkish sultans, but it was called Palestine land. And in fact, all the original Rothschild documents when they were buying, it was called Palestine land. Like that's what it was called. So this idea that it never existed is simply not true. Even the Rothschild, there's even postcards that the Rothschild sent from Palestine. So long story short, they bought more and more land, and then pressure was put on them by people like Chaim Weizmann to make it more political. And then eventually they got on board with political Zionism at the time of Balfour. But Balfour didn't actually accomplish much. And so you needed other conflicts that actually led to the real establishment of the nation state of Israel. And I think they weren't recognized until 1948.
Right. So all of these powers that we're talking about here, this is one thing that I do wonder with obviously all of the different intelligence agencies, the Vatican, the different Arab nations that are becoming more and more powerful. Is there some sort of like a common thread that unites all of those guys in the sense that they all work together in international banking, or are they just factions that just sort of operate the same way but are removed from one another?
No, great question. It's the Atlanticist power bloc, or what's sometimes called the Anglo-American establishment. Now, that term is not used to castigate Anglo people. It's the older term that was used in geopolitics during the time of what's called the Great Game. So this is the battle between Russia and the West, particularly Russia versus the UK, right? So when the British Empire was very powerful, one of their main rivals was the Russian Empire. And so the term out of the Great Game for the Anglo-American establishment is just the term that was used for many, many years. So when Quigley was writing in the 1960s, and he did Tragedy and Hope, he calls the Western power bloc the Atlanticist power bloc. And that's just talking about all of the land over here that's not Eurasia, right? And this has nothing to do with the good guys, bad guys. It's just laying out the geopolitical scheme in terms of what Lord Halford Mackinder called the heartland theory. So you have heartland and rimland, and the thesis of Mackinder was that any empire that wants to have dominance in the world needs to control the heartland, and that's Eurasia. So you can be a sea power, a little bitty sea power like the UK, and have a world empire if you're able to have dominance in certain areas. That same theory of heartland, rimland, and all that is pretty much the theory of Pax Americana. And you notice that Brzezinski and Kissinger and all those kind of big scale players, they write often about this. In fact, Brzezinski's books, I think in Grand Chessboard, he even has a whole layout of like heartland, rimland early on. And he says America will have to control the Eurasian heartland. In fact, years ago, he was talking about the importance of Ukraine as a geostrategic region to put pressure on Russia. I think his last book, Strategic Vision, even predicted what the U.S. would do in Ukraine. I remember reading that in grad school. I was sitting at the library research desk reading Strategic Vision, even before there was like Maidan Q. I think it was 2011. But so anyway, so they strategized this out. But to answer your question, it is the Western powers, the Western power bloc, the Atlantis power bloc. And no, it's not denying the influence of Israel when you cite that terminology from Quigley, because when Quigley was writing in the 1960s, it just wasn't, we weren't at the point where Israel had as much power as it does have now, right? And we see that in, for example, the JFK files. They were already beginning to have a lot of power and influence, particularly with regard to the James Jesus Angleton back channel conversations that they were having about JFK. A lot of people in the CIA didn't like JFK, so they were kind of looking for other people who didn't like JFK. Then that included mobsters, that included Israeli operatives, and it included a lot of people in the CIA and corporate people. So a lot of people didn't like JFK, and that doesn't mean JFK is like some saint or hero. I'm just giving you the facts of the matter. So after the JFK period, I think you get more and more, especially after USS Liberty, we begin to see more explicit pressure from Israel put on American foreign policy and presidents and other people that wasn't as pronounced before that.
All right, man. Well, I think that I do want to move on to this whole scientism area of the Epstein files. It's just there's a lot more. There's a lot of dots to connect here. You've got all of the different people who are using aborted fetuses and stem cells and all these sorts of things. That's very interesting. But then you've got the New Age atheists. What are they all doing on Epstein's Island? Your Dawkinses, your Lawrence Krauses. Lawrence Krauss is trying to get Joe Rogan onto the island. And then you've got Jeffrey Epstein being obsessed with eugenics and cloning. And so there's so much there. I want to get into it. But first of all, let's have a read of some of these super chats here. Blaine says that Dano wants to know where Jay got his jacket. Everyone was loving the jacket before.
That actually, I got that I think in Italy when we did a pilgrimage to Italy for Orthodox sites in Italy in 2023, and I just happened to find a polo store because it's weird when you shop in Italy, like everything is all these weird sort of foreign expensive brands that you never heard of. So I was like, I just need a polo thing because it's cold, and I was super sick, at like 104 fever, walking around Italy in a daze, and I was like, just find me a polo. So I think I got it somewhere in Italy.
Nice. The cut says files show emails that were and weren't sent. A lot of crazy ties and mentions. Is there a chance he made fake emails, pics, videos for blackmail? Number 1 out of 2. And these files seem to have every death.
I know, brother. Like honestly, people are. I just think some people just like don't understand what's going on, and to some people, this is still like not real. I think that's the problem.
Unalive conspiracy, all tied together for a long time now. So that's a 2-part question there.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, that's definitely within the realm of possibility. I don't think that. What I try to do is focus on the things that I can verify and that I think are confirmed. And if I do speculate, I admit I'm speculating. For example, I put out a video talking about the possibility of serial killers having connections to organized crime and having connections perhaps to international rings.
Gacy
and that
didn't
serial
he?
killers.
Oh, no. Was it Gacy? Or was it the Iceman?
No, he did.
The Iceman definitely did, yeah. Or Gacy
Actually,
did as well.
Candyman, Gacy did. Many of them have.
Wow.
So there are some leads there. And today on my stream, we were talking about the possibility that maybe Epstein is another kind of serial killer, right? Because if he is engaging in, the unaliving and consuming of underage peoples, which there seems to be indications of that beyond just the sexual stuff. And if he was buying all that sulfuric acid.
Yeah, honestly, it should make you feel icky. That means I think that means you're on the right side of things, right? If you watch this and you think it's a joke or does it make you like feel fucking disgusted inside, there's probably something wrong with you. And that's not to say I'm not saying everybody should take this so seriously. I'm just saying it shocks me how nonchalant everybody is about this. It's just like, oh, it's just another day. Yeah, our world elites are all pedophiles and they eat babies and it's just like oh, okay.
For dissolving of bodies, then we might have a situation where we have a new Jeffrey Badonkadonk, so to speak, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh wow!
But that's speculation, right? So I'm speculating there, and I usually say when I'm speculating. But I think in regard to these emails about, did you like the TORTURE video?
Yeah.
You can now kill her. I think those are not speculation. I think those are confirmed. So I look at those and I say that's confirmable. Do I know why he's buying the sulfuric acid? No, but I can think that he probably is doing it for bodies, but I don't know.
Been watching
But no, I don't think there's. I mean, he could have been sending himself fake emails, but also, I don't think we have to speculate to see that the non-speculative confirmable stuff is like way more. I mean, even if half of this stuff is true, it's like the biggest story in the history of the world.
Sure.
Also, every single email that has to do with beef jerky or has to do with pizza parties, the names are redacted. Why the fuck would you need to redact names of people talking about pizza parties and beef jerky unless there's something nefarious going on? Makes no sense. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay.
Job Hunting says, do you think that the reason people on that list aren't really being held accountable lawfully is that morally what they did was wrong, but legally there are too many loopholes. Example, no age of consent on the island.
What?
Has Jeffrey Epstein managed to go through some legal loopholes?
Right. I don't know a lot about international law and legalities like that, so I don't know. But I would tend to think that it's more so just pressure being put on government officials and Pam Bondi and people to cover it up would be my guess. But maybe I don't know enough about that.
Alex said Jay should be on Rogan, diving into conspiracies. They're both friends with Jones. I would love to see that. That would be good to see you on Rogan there. You guys would have a good chat.
Be honored to do that. Yeah, I'd love to. Be a great conversation.
Gadfly says, Jay, curious if you've ever been approached with a bribe or threatened or had shady stuff happen to scare you. For years now, you've been ahead of the curve and seems dangerous.
Not really. I mean, one time I had a comment on the website threatening to do something, but I mean, to me, it came up more like some schizo dude. And then I had some people into because I first talked about the international ZIO stuff back in 2007 and 8.
Yeah, but it's because Jay's been too small, right? They don't care about a guy that isn't really averaging a huge audience. He doesn't. Even at his best, he's looking at like 2K or something live viewers, right? So they don't care about that. Like, what if Asmongold starts saying the shit that Jay is saying? It's a good chance he's getting some DMs, which he has been saying some of the things that we've been talking about for a very long time, and he's starting to catch on. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's been getting some interesting emails.
I had a blog back then that talked about it. And I had some people saying they were going to call my work and get me fired, but beyond that, no, not personal threats. I think for a long time until now, with all this stuff coming out, I think most people, most normies, they just tended to think of this as crazy and fringe, and no schizo. So there wasn't a whole lot of threat. But there were people, back in the 2000s that talked about the stuff that met an untimely demise. There was the woman that was investigating CPS stuff. She was a Congress member from Georgia. She was unalived. There were British journalists investigating Elm House and the Savile stuff. She was unalived. There have been Udo Ulfkolta, when he came out and said that the CIA was running the media in Germany. He died not too many years later. You can still find his interviews everywhere. We played it many times. The Virginia Palfrey, the DC madam, she used to be on Alex all the time. And then she told Alex, if I turn up unalived, it wasn't me. So you've got several cases of people like that. But in most situations, what happened with the people that were unalive, perhaps even Breitbart, what happened with most of those people is that they would claim they had all this info and then not put it out. They would just say, I've got this. And, not putting it out seems to be the safest course rather than claiming that you have the info and not putting it out. So really the only thing, I think commenting on it in the public sphere is not that dangerous because, people sounding off on YouTube or Twitter, that doesn't have a lot of effect, doesn't change much. But when you've got actual blackmail or something like that, that could damage a person in the courts and legalities, like that's where I think you're getting into more trouble.
Yeah, like that dude who they suspect might have been off by one of these Silicon Valley guys. You remember that Asian guy who had information about what's his name, Sam Altman, and they suspect
the AI case. I've heard of this.
Yeah. But anyways, AO said for 20, good work, gentlemen, and thanks for the information. Americans and our mates across the pond need this information. Absolutely. Thank you very much, AO. Appreciate that. And Smokely says, Jay, in a recent video you mentioned Epstein was more mid-level fixer. Any idea who some of the leading players might be? Or is it multiple intelligence agencies? Are all conspiracy theories related now? We did cover this a bit before, but if you want to...
Well, I don't know about all conspiracy theories, but a lot of the sort of, we have a connection with some of the emails to 9/11. I mean, Ghislaine being asked to be on a shadow committee on 9/11. Nobody, what even is that? What the hell is even that? Right, to quote the meme. I mean,
what the hell is even that?
Oh
yeah, dude, the 9/11 stuff in the Epstein files is insane. By the way, because and nobody's covering it. No mainstream media has touched it. It's fucking weird. Like he said, they talk about like a shadow council and all kinds of weird shit for the 9/11 stuff. It's fucking weird. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. I honestly, I just don't even want to know at this point. It's already too much. I don't know what this shadow council is or shadow committee is for 9/11. I don't want to know. But yeah, that's in the emails. It's kind of weird. It's a very weird email that's in there. So you should look it up. It's quite an interesting read because it's like, wait, what? It's like, huh? It's kind of like when I found the Adolf Hitler stuff and all the connections between the Rothschilds and Adolf Hitler. And I was like, oh, why is this in here?
Also, I didn't know
The
you had that.
soundboard.
Nobody knows what a shadow commission is, and Ghislaine was asked to be on that. I mean, one of the terror events, I forget which one, like he seemed to be consulting in the midst of some terror event that was going on. And he was messaging ISIS or one of the sultans. This was, forgive me, this was a couple days ago, and there's been so many emails so there seemed to be a background connection with ISIS. I think people were talking about the ISIS connection the other day. So I think that type of
the Sultan thing. Are you talking about the guy who did the torture video?
No, there was a separate email that related to ISIS and destabilization.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Libya and Egypt, and I can't remember who he was emailing, but I've got it bookmarked. I'm sure everybody could find that one pretty easily, but it might be the one where he mentions Peter Thiel, and he's like, "Hey, Thiel, here's what I'm trying to explain to you." And it's his grammar and it's so bad. It's like,
Yeah, I've noticed the
Libya,
grammar's
you know, like,
terrible, dude. Like it's
yeah.
pissing me off whenever I read them. I'm like, can you stop putting spaces between commas and all this sort of stuff?
Yeah, I want to say he's mentioning Muslim Brotherhood and or maybe ISIS. I don't remember, but there was an email about a terror event. I just don't remember which one it was, but there might have even been two different emails that I'm mixing up. But anyway, you can find that one. I think
Yeah.
so. What I'm getting at is that when it's high finance, financial scandals, he seemed to have had a lot of knowledge about what was going on with the Greek debt crisis, the bailouts of the European banks. In the Bannon interview, that even connects to the 2008 housing collapse with Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, and he's telling Bannon that he's calling people from jail about explaining what's going on. So he's like if you watch Goodfellas, right? When Paulie the gangster is in the jail, he's like running the family operations from jail. It's like Epstein is literally in jail, like using
That's
his
happening in
phone calls,
Australia. You've got the Lebanese gangs over here that are big drug lords, and one of them is literally running everything from inside the jet. It's insane.
Exactly.
And they've
Yeah.
got
That's
access
crazy.
to phones and all that. All right. Anyways, Jay, we'll do that again after the next topic. We'll read some supers, but it'll be Orange and Up, guys. So we'll read Orange and Up at the next one so we're not bogged down for too long. Miss D mentions to join the Discord, guys. If you're not a part of the Rattlesnake TV Discord, you absolutely should be. Always good fun in there. Like the video. If you're here, helps us push this out if you're enjoying the information. But Jay, this is probably maybe the thing that I'm most curious about of all the different things that are happening in the Epstein files. And I know that we can connect the dots here, but you've got all of the New Age atheists, your Daniel Dennett's, Richard Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss, all of these guys all happen to be really buddy-buddy with Jeffrey Epstein. He seems to be upset. Even Eric Weinstein was at his island. Like, he seems to be obsessed with all of these New Age atheist characters. And then you posted saying that New Age atheism was always a psyop. And it kind of got the wheels turning a little bit where I was thinking, could it be that this was like a literal psyop? And then we've also got an obsession with eugenics and with some sort of cloning or something. I'm going to let you explain what's going on there. So, I mean, let's start off with the New Age atheism and why this guy is so obsessed with scientists and getting involved with scientists. Steven Pinker, everybody.
Well, I think they seem to treat science and scientism almost in a quasi-religious way, right? Epstein seems to, in the Bannon interview, equate science, mathematics, and his conception of religion very closely. almost kind of hinting at times of being interested in alchemy, hermeticism, and Kabbalah. You and I talked about what that was a few weeks ago on your show. We talked about 10 minutes about Kabbalah stuff, and that clip is on my Twitter. If people want to refer back to that, so I won't go into that. But yeah, Jewish mysticism seems to play a role here. He thinks of all of reality as mathematics, which is Pythagoreanism. That's also comes up a lot in Western Hermeticism. So that seems to be Epstein's personal worldview, and that's not necessarily antithetical to atheism and that kind of stuff. Because one thing that I didn't expect was really weird in the interview. He tells Ben, and he says, "I think that reality is created from our minds. Our minds project reality." And it's just code. So some kind of like matrix bro, we live in a simulation type worldview seems to be what he favors, which again is parallel with Gnosticism, parallel with Kabbalah, Platonism, all of those, Pythagoreanism, all those kind of overlap in that idea. So that seems to be his worldview. And that's not even necessarily antithetical to a lot of what we've heard some of the new atheists express over the years. For example, Dawkins has said stuff like, I'm not necessarily totally atheist, but I think that there could be some kind of pantheistic God from within, or that reality as a whole is God, a kind of a monism. Um, Daniel Dennett is a very strict determinist atheist because I remember reading him in grad school. So I don't know if he has any kind of.
All right, I'll watch some of this on my own. It's just too much, too dense for stream. We got a debate in 2 days, huh? Rich Cooper. This is like a red pill bro, I think.
Choice you get or something? I miss the old days of dueling.
All right, so what's gonna happen? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is it because of my Steve Bannon post where I said he needs to be hung for treason? It's fucking OnlyFans whore. Check DMs. We're good. Anyway, I think I'm gonna play some games. I'm tired, guys. Actually, I am fucking very, very tired. I am not going to lie. I think I'm play some Grand Blue Fantasy. I've been meaning to play some Grand Blue Fantasy on stream and chill, and I just haven't really done anything because just working. What's this? Maple Story crossover? Was it a bunch of porn games as usual down here? Wait, they put D2 on Steam? Wait, I would have actually just bought this on Steam so I don't have to use BNet anymore. It actually would have just been worth it. Oh, wow, it's not full of porn games for once. That's crazy. There's no way this guy's dead. Yeah, I don't think he's dead. I'm gonna be honest. If he's dead, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I probably need a break to stop thinking about it because it's so ridiculous. I'm just like, I don't even know what to think anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know anymore. All right, we're just gonna chill and play some games. Listening to this shit like sucked the energy out of me. All right, where are we at here? All right, well, we have to farm. This is fine. We have to farm War Elementals Plus from Behemoth. Yeah. Oh, I also have to do these. Fuck. I also have to do hers. Fuck. Alright, let's get this shit out of the way. Let's get the audio up. Let me update this shit in the background. Yeah, we're just gonna play this for like an hour or two, then I'm gonna go to bed. I'm beat, man, and I got all the energy out. I screamed a little bit into the void, my frustration with everything going on, and now it's just like, you got your first 5 members. Dude, the channel's definitely shadow banned, guys. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I showed you what my back end of YouTube looks like, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like, all of my videos, even ones from like weeks ago, they're all limited. They have like limited reach. And like the average views on like videos just like drastically decreased. Everything just went down like drastically. Watch time, everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping. It just seems weird. Just seems a little strange. That's all I'm saying. Just seems a little strange. But I might just be cope. I don't know. Just it's like, okay, that's weird. Every single stream becomes ineligible for like every past broadcast gets instantly like blacklisted. So I've just been deleting them because there's no point in them even being up. It's been a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Been a little weird. What's up, sis? How you doing, man? I'm fucking tired, man. Alright, if you guys don't know the game, it's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This is one of my favorite games in the last few years. Fucking love this game. I pretty much completely did beat the whole game, so there was no point in me to continue to play it, but there is a massive DLC coming soon. Out of nowhere. Nobody expected it. It's not for a few months, but I figured I'd play it a little bit, grind. Just a TLDR, I'm fucking terrible at the game because I have not been. I just don't play the game. Like, it's been literally like a year since I played the game. So we're going to embarrass ourselves dying over and over again to really easy bosses, even though my character is extremely overgeared. I do have to finish some of these, unfortunately. I wish I didn't have to. Made over the midweek hump day. Yeah, no, I haven't been sleeping. Yeah, I don't care about any of her background. I've been farming Zero for 10 hours now because bored. I don't think I can even kill Zero right now. Like, I'm that bad. I barely remember how to play this shit. I did a few, like, Behemoth runs, and I was like, wow, I'm really bad. We're gonna be doing behemoth runs, so I don't think they're gonna go too well. I really need to upgrade my laptop. It's a bad time, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I would just wait. Where am I fucking going? I'm so lost in this game. I feel so fucking lost playing this game. What am I looking for? Oh. Oh. You had the peach today? Yay, gaming? Yeah, I get you guys don't want to listen to me yap about the Epstein stuff, so I'll just play some games. Holy fuck, there's a map? Wait, was there always a map in the game? I don't remember there being a map. Am I crazy? It's the tea that I sell. If you look at the link in the description, you can buy tea from my store. Not my store, but it's the sponsor. Bingo. Wari. Yeah, my brain's getting rotted by it. I ain't gonna lie. Alright, honestly, I already don't want to sit through these. I hate these quests. We're just gonna go embarrass ourselves and get bodied by Behemoth. Alright, let's go get bodied. Okay, once again, I want to preference this, guys. I have not played in over a year. I've been getting on for like an hour or two to like sort through gearing and stuff. I am very geared. I am like beyond very geared in this game. But that doesn't matter if you're garbage and you die to everything. So yeah, this is gonna be embarrassing, you know?
目で追えなかっただと。変幻自在とはまさにこのことじゃ。臭いバネの力よ。右手よ。よめてりゃ。とどめだ。たりゃ。かよせ。なんつって。
Are you serious?
すぐに助ける。
行動パターンを解析するのに対応はたやすくなるはずだ。
Wait, dude, I'm so bad. Holy fuck. Bro. Bro! Alright, guys, listen. It's been a year! Okay? It's been a year. Oh my god, I fucked up. Bro! Why am I so bad at this game now? Honestly, this boss is annoying as fuck. Bro. Please, why am I so bad? Maybe I should like practice on another boss for a bit. Love it. Skybell shared one of your vids. Nice, bro. Congrats. God, dude, I am so bad. To be honest, this boss is fucking AIDS, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. I can't see what the fuck's going on half the time. Are big bucks and a whammy? Big bucks and a whammy? Okay. This game looks intense. This game's very good. You should pick it up. A big DLC is coming in like a couple months. For those of you who know the lore, this is actually the game that got Leaflet very popular, by the way. Leaflet used to cover the shit out of this game. This is what got her super popular. Pretty sure I can counter that. Thought I could do a cheeky parry there. Bro, are we serious? Bro, why is the camera so fucked? I can't even keep track of him. This boss is so fucking irritating. Bro, how do people not lose their mind farming this boss? Like, I'm actually losing my fucking brain cells. Alright, maybe we practice on some other bosses. So I learn how to play the fucking game again. Okay. Okay.
私の番ね。この槍の力。よだれラハ。
かと見ておれ。我が剣より逃れる術はないと知れ。さらばじゃカリオスト。
容赦なし。
わしの影。
アーレスマグナ。やったね。
アセンション。よし、その調子だ。やりすぎたの。よっ。天を突き落とたか。
近づきすぎると危険か。
これぞ変幻だ。
Oh, fuck, I'm bad. Oh, fuck me. I guess I just AFK during his overdrive. I'll stop trying to get like counters off. It's like a waste of time. I also feel like my camera is like way too zoomed in. What do we get? Tier 85? Wow, nerd, wow. I think I have a mod that lets me, because I have a mod for ultra wide. Maybe I think it lets me zoom out. Maybe I need to zoom out more. I'm like getting really fucking confused of what's going on. This boss just like jumps all over the fucking stage. I don't know why I use that, but that doesn't work. I can't. Okay. It's weird that I can't counter that. Bro, are you serious?
うまく生きよった全ての最悪に終止符をアインソルオールあれの変撃さーてカリオストロ
終わらせてやるぜアルスマグ出たこれで終わりこの槍の力よだれランパ
かと見ておれ我が剣より逃れる術はないと知れさらばじゃ
気合い
アセンションどうということ
言われるまでもね
わしの影よめたまいとどめだこいつらいやここぞ見えとるぞ
今よ畳みかけるよ
ここからの行くぞありがたい
The fuck just happened?
警戒しようさて
Bro, that's annoying. You should have died. Right.
助けてあげなきゃ
願い約束を俺は守る
Listen, that felt like it was a lot better. I hit a bunch of counters, didn't get hit as much, and then it just went to shit because somehow I got knocked out of my ability while I'm in the middle of link time. Interesting enough.
終わったみてえだないい戦いっぷりだったぜ
どれよよしよしほっせりゃ見えた見切っておる読めたわい見切
Okay. This looks RPG. No, it is an RPG. We're just farming this guy because he drops a specific sigil that I don't have. And it's the only sigil I don't have that I need. How the fuck did I get knocked out of that?
回復に専念してくれおれ出番じゃさて気合を入れ直すとするかの言われるまでもないと右とよ
大したものね。怒られんのはやばいだ。ディスラプション。おっかねえな。
分かっている。慎重に行こう。
Bro, what is the lock on? Like, I'm getting so confused. I'm like, it's let L be. Okay. Bruh, I was like, I wonder why I'm like getting so confused. I'm like pressing the wrong button to lock on. I'm like, I can't fucking lock onto this guy. It's driving me nuts. He knocked me out of invincibility? Hello? Bro, I literally keep getting knocked out of like iframes. Okay. Oh. Okay. Got knocked out of iframes again. Okay. Well, I might have the only one that died there. Bro, I cannot use tit for tat anymore. Is this game any good? Yeah, this game's very good. What's people's weapon or both close range and distance? I don't know. Like, it kind of depends. If there's a character with a gun, I'll play it. But I mean, in this game, it kind of depends. Like, I play Yodara, but I also play a lot of Vasaraga. And Vasaraga is like a really slow charge-based character. Maybe I should see if there's any multiplayer lobbies open. I think there's a lot of people playing now that the DLC got announced. Let me see. Damn, there's 2,000 people playing. That's crazy. For my avatar? I don't know. I mean, if I'm playing in a sci-fi setting, I should probably have a gun, right? Why didn't I get my counter? Hello? Really? I'm glad that bug's still in the game. I'm glad, like, Yadara's iframes are still bugged. Okay, I dodged that. Alright. I hate this game. 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 I hate this game.
ここから巻き返すぞ。世話をかけたの。無事か。パレット、ヘロ、ナン、サイ、ヘッド、ヘッド、ユット、カーボテイ。オーリー、甘いわ。とどめじゃ。ほい。
Bro.
ありがたい。敵の裏を隠すな。いけっか。オッケー。皆さん。すっごい。おめえでも何にもしながらこんなものではない。ここで仕留めるわ。これが真理の一撃だ。終わりじゃ。殲滅する。とどめじゃ。とどめじゃ。出た。私の番ね。プロミネートタイム。よだれランパ。と見ておれ。
And this Ragnarok is more than DLC. It's like a story expansion, new characters, new bosses. I mean, I wouldn't wait if you're gonna play. Like, this game is incredibly grindy. Bro. Okay. I really don't understand that attack and how I keep dying to it. I love being killed through by iframes. It's so fun. I'm glad this is that never changes with this character. He still dies through all his iframes. If you do want to play, you have like hundreds of hours of shit to get through before you even touch the DLC stuff. So if you are interested, I just recommend playing now. Like, I don't think you understand how grindy this game is. Come on, man. All right, one more, and then I'm gonna swap. I'll play some. I'll see if I can get some easier missions that are usually what people are co-opting, so I can get some more practice in. I feel like this boss is just obnoxious. I feel like if I Google searched it, everybody would say this boss is obnoxious. Why didn't that work again? Okay. I just not dodge that.
願い約束を俺は守る。出た。
私の番ね。プロミネントダイブ。とどめがやったらこれで終わりだ。ガールスマグよだるラーフ。
Yeah, if you buy it, I'll play co-op and help you guys out.
おっと手が滑ったわ。アセンション。さて任せておけ。
このまま言われるまでもね。
これはなんだ。いやここのタワーセンジャー。敵のグーバーまだまだとしっぺがい終わりじゃ。わしの影見切れるかの。とどめじゃ。
狙って了解。ご褒美になる。
任せておけ。
足を取られるのは厄介だ。
行くぞ。
集中。
終わりじゃ。見えとるぞ。よしもた。いかん。
助けてあげなきゃ。じいさんが危ね
え。敵の裏をかくにこいさ。
うまくいったみたいだな。次もこの調子で行こうぜ。
どれ。よよどれ。ふむふむ。ほほひょよてせいや。とどめじゃ。ふんと。
I feel like I'm zoomed in. Oh. Alright, let's see if we can get some, help some people out in co-op. I am gonna be a gremlin, and I'm gonna get a DPS meter real quick. So I know how bad I am. Keep. Fine, keep it. Keep anyway, yes. No, it's not a threat. Listen, we used to gatekeep real hard in this game. Threat found. It's not a threat, you fucking mongoloid. Whatever. Okay. Let me go see if I can find some co-ops.
Konnichiwa. Kore desu ka?
This is usually... Man, I don't even remember how to fight this guy.
どうです？受けますか？よろしくお願いします。
I mean, I guess we could do Proto Bahamut, but I feel like Bahamut's really boring, but it's probably where everybody is. They're probably trying to grind their Terminus weapons, right? That's not happening. Maybe I do a party for Behemoth? I never cleared this. It's weird.
この依頼を受けますか？いってらっしゃい。
Of course, this party is grinding a Behemoth. I wanted to fight something else that I could get practice on. And Behemoth is just like super annoying. Yeah, what if these guys are like awful? Like worse than me. And we struggle. I don't know what the tech is here. Like, I don't know if I should wait and we should drain his overdrive or... So maybe I fucked that up, but... Much better. I guess you do. I guess you just have to run out of that. Because it looked like that's what they did too. They ran out. So. I mean, that was like the only thing actually killing me at this point anyway. I really want to get a DPS meter to know how bad I'm doing. He did a little more damage than me. That makes sense. Man, I missed this, man. This is like, I'm getting flashbacks to a year ago. I'd come home, I'd play this cozy ass shit, do some co-op runs. We were doing YouTube videos with this game, getting a couple thousand views. Good times, man. Man, I like that tea. That's good, man. I'm glad you like the tea.
よっグムズメよっとふむふむどれついてこれるか右って遅いないてつけ苦手や
I did really bad that time. Come on, man. Oh, I didn't vote to repeat. Oops. Can I? Let me see if I can zoom the game out. Short King Karisu? Yeah, no, I like Yoda a lot. But the problem is like Yoda's been like this character's been bugged forever. His like iframes don't work. He's only iframed for like 1 second while he's in the air. And then yeah, it's really stupid. I don't know where like a tier list is for like this game at this point. Yoda used to be kind of like mediocre, but he had a lot of iframes. I did see some that looked like he was high up, but hang on, give me a second. I'm pretty sure I can zoom out. Like I'm pretty sure if I go into here and configuration setting for a relink fix, right? Allows for a modification on a gameplay FOV. That's not what I want. Gameplay camera distance. Allows for camera distance. Original distance 1.2. Let's do like 1.2. Is there anything else in here? Enabled true. Let's change that. Okay. Save. All right. And let me get this real quick. And modding notes. Let me get this worldwide matchmaking one. Somebody said I should do this worldwide matchmaker. Oh, never mind. I don't want to install Reloaded and all this other nonsense. Never mind. I'm not going to do that. Because apparently it'll allow me to get games a lot more if I do it. It is not. It's okay, Microsoft. You can download it. No, there's no virus. It's not it's not a threat. Stop. Okay, whatever. No DPS meter. No fun. No fun allowed. Yoda? Yeah, that's literally his name. There's a DPS meter that you can download. But Windows thinks it's a Trojan. Because, I mean, technically it is, yeah. But it's not like, yeah. I just wanted to see, like, my damage. See how bad I'm playing. Which is probably bad. Oh, my bugged. Bro, are this bug still in the game? I don't think I can escape this. I think it's, yeah, I have to restart the game. Bro, this bug's still in the game? I mean, they haven't patched the game in like fucking... The last patch was June 28, 2024, so I guess it makes sense that that bug's still in the game, right? Really? Bro, are we serious?
待ってて、すぐに向かうから。
万の白竜騎士団の誇りにかけて終わりだ。砕けろ。敵の裏をかくにはこうするんじゃ。ありがたい。ここからが本番じゃ。
Oh, what just happened? Yeah, dying's really bad because I don't think you don't get the curio box, so I'm like literally fucking going team. My bad.
お互い様じゃ天を突きおったか家族すぎると危険か怖いじゃ飛べそうじゃまだまだとどめじゃこっちだ甘いわ遅いな覚悟せいスマートに行く遅いなこっちだこっちだこっちだ遅いな
Dude, what the fuck?
決してくじけるなさすがだ行くぞ受けてみろ白龍の刃と知恵クリューゲル遅いとどめじゃやるやつの当たりはせんぞモントレット終わりじゃ賢い襲わせてもらうぞこれがさーて火を放置だおいさいやここのタワー遅い強引貫く我が剣より逃れる術はないと知れさらばじゃ決めてやる
私の番ねプロミネーションタイムザスマット
任せてもらおうナイスフリーゲルひらめけバーストゲイル少しやりすぎたかのこの調子仕掛けてくるぜ遅れを取るでないぞ
まだまだこんなもんじゃないわよ
息が合っていたな終わりじゃ失敗だい
動きが鈍くなっちまうみてえだ
遅いここからのさあいやここのしまいじゃとどめじゃひょっほりひょっせいやかっこいいほり
決めちゃってもらった畳みかけるよ
いいだろうこっちだ
まだまだ
とどめじゃほいさ敵の裏を取る受けてみろ泡かける
I don't know why the fuck my This is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. My shit keeps bugging out. Like I just like stopped attacking for some reason. I'm the only motherfucker who keeps dying.
Yeah, I keep dying, so we're not getting to Curia. It's my bad, guys. I'll stop dying. I don't know how I'm even dying. Bro, I was a fucking champion!
回復に専念する。白竜騎士団の誇りにかけてワイズフリーゲル砕けろ。これぞ変幻自在。やすやすと当たりは天井。こいつだ。こいつだ。災いをやり。右に行って願いを約束を俺は守る。パラダイスロートロー。よだるな。やってんじゃ。おう団結一戦。ここだ。アークデトネーション。
I am so bad. This boss is 8, by the way, but I'm also really bad. It's embarrassing how geared I am, and I'm so bad.
勝利の方向に様々としよう。よしよ。どれ。ふむふむ。好きにはさせん。
そこ来なさい。それそこ行け。来ないの。
Do I try some other characters? Do I even remember how to play? I mean, we could play, bro. I don't like. How the fuck would you? How would you play this boss with Rosetta, bro? Honestly, that just sounds like AIDS. Maybe I do a Percival. I don't know. I could do Vasaraga, dude. Vasaraga would be fun, actually. Dude, I feel like I'm gonna be so bad though. I feel like I'm gonna be so bad. Because I haven't played this motherfucker in fucking 10,000 years. Wait, don't I have his, Yeah, I have this maxed out, right? No, I don't. Let me pull up the Discord. Bro, I don't even. How do I even build this idiot? You know what? No. Next time we play, I'll get some characters loaded up and ready. We're just gonna keep, because like I got Yoda's build like locked in, so I don't need to change too much.
ご用件は？この依頼を受けますか？頑張ってくださいね。
Are there any Bahamuters? Can I get some Bahamuters?
「こんにちは。どれにしますか？こんな感じです。頑張ってくださいね。
Hmm. Man. I'd love to play D2, man, but I feel like I'm gonna get so fucking lost in the new update. Dead game, boys. Dead game. Ooh, They Are Billions, bro. I would love to play Bro, I want to play Total War. I want to play They Are Billions. I want to play the new D2 season. I wouldn't mind playing more Marvel Rivals either. I don't think I'm gonna get. I think I have to do the mod to unlock world matchmaking. So we will just go in with. All right. Don't enter critical edition more than 2 times. Okay. Yeah. So if I don't. Unfortunately, if I die at all, I don't get the Curio and I don't get my War Elemental Plus. Okay. So I just gotta like not be bad. Maybe instead of a glass cannon build, I like try something different. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to hate this character. Dude, I'm getting hit by shit I shouldn't even be getting hit by. Alright, last one. I don't even know how I'm getting fucking hit. Bro, this is why I cheesed the whole game playing Rackham. Although I'm pretty sure they nerfed him now, so I can't play him anymore. Maybe we just play Charlotta. Yeah, honestly, maybe we just play Charlotta and play on easy mode.
本気で来たところで無駄なんだけど全部かわしてやるわ
Okay. Right. Bro, are we? Oh, wait, serious? This is not a serious game. Bro, this is not a serious game. Dude, I keep getting killed by shit that doesn't even make sense. Yeah, so I'm not getting the curio, so I'm not gonna get the war elemental, so I'm just like wasting my time. Alright, one more. I don't understand how I'm dying. That's like half the problem. Yeah, you can't die to get the curio. That's really so annoying. Are we serious? Bro, come on, man. Still fucking died twice, so I don't think I'm gonna get it. Dude, it's so annoying. I don't even like. I just like randomly die in the middle of like an iframe. I think I have to change my build. I think I have to go less glass cannon. I think I'm way too glass cannon. Get one shot away. Everything's annoying. I forgot how much bullshit's in this thing. Okay, we got it there. And it's garbage. Alright, one more. I'm getting better, guys. The rust is coming off. We're making less retarded mistakes. Ow! I literally have Mirage on! Oh, chat, I hate this game. I'm starting to remember I actually hate this fucking game. Alright, I'm gonna look up like a safer build later and get that locked in. I'm also gonna gear out Vasaraga. I mean, I could play Naramea, but it's kind of annoying. I'm probably gonna gear out like Charlotta, and I'll gear out Percival and Vasaraga, and like maybe one of these new characters I've never played. Although I heard Sandal, Sandal's like super OP, but I heard he's boring as fuck. You just spam one button over and over again. Alright, I have to level these guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Vasaraga. I think they buffed Siegfried too. Maybe he's playable now. Lancelot's like really like zero brain cells gaming. So Vasaraga, Percy, Charlotta, and yeah, I don't know. That's it. And I'll get them set up. And I'll find like a build that's like less AIDS. It's just like I just get fucking one shot by everything, and the thought process is, oh, I don't need that much defense because like Yoda has tons of iframes. But then I fucking forgot that in this shit ass game, half your iframes don't even register. So like I'm literally being killed like while I'm supposed to be invincible, and it's throwing me off. All right. Love you guys.